Welcome to the Talk Sox podcast. I'm Alex, and as always, I'm joined by Maddie. How are you?
I'm doing well. Gearing up for the holidays.
Oh, yes.
Pretty cold in Pennsylvania. It just hit the high 40s today for the first time
Okay.
in like 2 weeks.
Okay. We were there until yesterday. It got into the 60s today. But before that, it had been like lows in the mid 20s. I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow here in Missouri and then dive back into some cold temperatures before it warms up for Christmas, where our Christmas will be in the mid 60s.
Oh
That's what everybody
no.
wants on Christmas is a balmy Christmas.
I, I you can do some outdoor cooking though if it's in the 60s.
Yeah, on Christmas itself, on Christmas Day, I don't have any outdoor cooking, but the next day, I've got some family that's coming in from Canada. We'll start our Christmas with them on Sunday, but on the 26th, we're gonna do like a big barbecue, and I've already got the pulled pork done and in the deep freeze and ready to go. But I got some ribs I'm gonna do on the 26th that morning, so hopefully those work pretty well.
Best of luck. St. Louis style?
I'm not big on St. Louis style.
Huh.
I don't like I trim them down to baby backs, so I just might as well buy
Okay.
baby backs.
Huh.
Um, I don't know, I just don't like that little, like, knob of cartilage at the top.
Yeah, that's fair. But I
So,
mean
I just saved myself the trouble and buy baby backs. I do prefer beef ribs, but the price of beef is insane right now, so
Yeah, just what is it? Oxtail now is the new thing in cooking.
yeah, and it used to
Yeah.
be it was like brisket. It used to be so
Mhm.
cheap.
And
At my
now,
local Sam's Club, a boneless choice rib roast was $350 when I was there a couple days ago. I bought that same thing 2 years ago to cut down for steaks for just over 100. So
that's crazy, man.
yeah, so I didn't buy it, but I want that teacher money. I can't afford $350 rib roast.
Well, gotta think ahead. You should invest. You should buy some cows then, so that raise them and then sell
I,
them for
I've got
the
some space. I
inflated
could I could
price.
do something with it.
Yeah, who needs the stock market?
Yeah, just buy cows. I bet you guys didn't know when you tuned into the Talk Stocks podcast today that we were going to open up with cow talk. Uh, but I think where we're going to start, and I've kind of built this. I don't want to say in like order of importance, but I feel like we're going to bury the lead a little bit here. The last time we recorded was right before the winter meetings. Those were last week, last Monday through Thursday, the 7th through the 9th. Very nervous that something big was going to happen because the school that I work for hosts this part of the state's biggest basketball tournament, and it's always that week. And so I had my AirPods with me. I was ready to go. We were going to go live from the scorer's table if we had to at that basketball tournament. But both luckily for me and unluckily for me as a Red Sox fan, nothing did. Obviously, Kyle Schwarber re-signed with the Phillies. Pete Alonso has gone to the Orioles. Um, Out of the two, I wanted Alonso more than Schwarber just because of his positional versatility, quote unquote. He's a first baseman and not just a DH, but he would be a DH by himself very soon. Are you upset that we missed out on the two big bats at the winter meetings? I don't think any reasonable Red Sox fan. There was a lot of smoke connecting Pete Alonso to the Red Sox, but I don't think that any reasonable Red Sox fan was going to truly believe that either player was an option.
Yes and no. No to Schwarber. It always seemed like he was just going to sign
Mhm.
with the Phillies again. And like you said, he's a very one-dimensional player, and the Red Sox are really looking for that defensive versatility with their group of guys. And Alonso, I mean, would have been nice. Again, like you said, he's a first baseman, so I mean, that's he plays the field unlike Schwarber, but At the same time, his stats aren't that good. Fielding wise, I mean, he's hit over 30 home runs for like almost every season he's played in the majors. So,
correct. Yeah. And he's right-handed. And his swing would play well at Fenway. I don't want this to come off like I wouldn't have been happy if the Red Sox had signed Pete Alonso. I would have been ecstatic. Probably would have bought a jersey already. But I just feel so when it came out to the Mets and didn't even like counter offer what the Orioles were doing, that kind of told me everything I needed to know about where Pete Alonso is probably heading. He, along with Diaz and Brandon Nimmo, were kind of the lifeblood of that clubhouse, along with Juan Soto, who is still obviously a New York Metropolitan. But he's it there in New York now. And to be like, you know what, we're good. We're not going to go 5 years, 155. I don't think it's been reported what the Red Sox offer was. All that's really been said was it was less years and less money. I'm perfectly content not paying Pete Alonso for the next $31 million for the next 5 years.
Yeah,
and there's no deferrals on that deal.
Yeah,
there's no deferrals on that deal.
I think the thing that bothers me with the Alonso signing is that he went to an interdivision team, the Orioles, who were sort of a dark horse. And I mean, getting outbid by the Orioles when you're the Boston Red Sox is not very embarrassing.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but I really feel like the Orioles were bidding against themselves. If the Red Sox weren't close because they weren't comfortable making that kind of deal, and it came out late last week, an agent told Heyman or somebody that the Red Sox don't seem to want to sign long-term deals for 30-plus aged players. I've got some qualms with that as a 35-year-old man, but I kind of get it. Like, if you're building a team that can compete year in and year out, you're going to have better luck with these 26, 27, 28-year-old players. The flip side of that is that it's going to cost a lot of money or trade assets to bring those people in. The Red Sox were technically a finalist for Juan Soto. Ended up the deal that they offered wasn't even close to what the Yankees or Mets offered. Juan Soto would have made a lot of sense, and we'd have been talking about him and Roman Anthony and Ceddanne Rafaela and Wilyer Abreu and Jarren Duran and Christian Campbell all in the outfield mix headed into last year. And I don't know, would Jarren Duran have been traded coming off an all-star season, after he got MVP votes? Would Wilyer have been shipped out so Juan could play right field? Would you have trusted Juan Soto in right field if anyway? That's not what this podcast is about. No. But I went down a rabbit hole. I went digging real quick. Realistically, if Craig is wanting to build a team, a young team that can compete for a World Series, I think that he's got the right idea. But it's going to cost talent at this point because money's not being spent. Right before the winter meetings, we had the Sonny Gray trade 2 weeks before. The week before, Johan Oviedo was acquired in a deal for Johansen Garcia, the password. That deal doesn't bother me one bit. I kind of see Oviedo as a Brian Bayo type. So I still don't think that the number 2 has been gotten, unless that, of course, is Sonny Gray. Yeah, and the potential's there, but it's just I would rather have something there, and we'll get to that here in a little bit, just based on what we've kind of talked about in Slack. But everything coming out of the winter meetings was the Red Sox they're talking to so many teams. They're so engaged. You unfortunately had Will Fleming tweeting at the end of day 2 that within 72 hours, Red Sox fans would be, quote, very happy. And just the negativity surrounding that has driven him off of Twitter.
Yeah, I've really been avoiding Twitter lately. Just
Yeah.
every Red Sox fans, we all are rooting for the same team. Like there's
It
just
doesn't
so
feel
much,
like it sometimes.
yeah, just so much drama with the fan base. I mean, this has been going on for like a year now. It's just not. I don't know what's going on. Is there something in the water? Just I don't know.
The dirty water.
Dirty water. Yeah, for real. But yeah, people are just so mean online when we disagree, and I mean we're allowed to have different opinions. Just you don't have to be a jerk about it.
I don't engage on Twitter. I just kind of scroll, and I look for guys like Carabas, and I know how you feel about Chris Cotillo, but guys like Chris Cotillo and Sean McAdam, and I look for people that I trust, just to kind of see what they're saying. And then I'm on Threads more than anything else now, which is owned by Meta, so it's really not much better. But it's at least a happier place right now.
Okay.
And Passon is on there now, and he is posting more things on Threads than he's posting on Twitter at the moment. Like Twitter will get all the breaking stuff, but Threads gets like Passon thoughts, which is cool. And so I don't think that I don't know if it's called a tweet. I don't know if it's called a thread. I don't know. A needle. I don't know. But I've never posted on there. I've liked some things that people have said, and yeah, I think it's an interesting space, and I think that it might be a little bit of an untapped media market for baseball in general. I wish Blue Sky was doing more. I really liked Blue Sky. I know we've got some writers on here who are pretty active on Blue Sky, and I tried, and it was another app that I just didn't check.
Yeah.
So, it kind of is what it is.
I Blue Sky outside of sports, I mean, it's just full of a lot of retirees and cat people, which are
Hey.
I vibe with that group, so I'm chilling on there.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it does. It's a lovely place. It really is.
So I have to get Threads now, I guess.
I wouldn't say it's a must do, but the Passon stuff is the main reason why I hopped on there. I saw on the Red Sox subreddit, which does not allow links to direct tweets anymore. I think it seems that it's a rule that's being broken a lot right now. And it's Reddit, go figure. But somebody was talking about how Passon was posting extra things on Threads, and I was like, well, I guess it's time to make a Threads now. And so I did, and I check it a couple times a day. Much like with Twitter, I have like notifications turned on for Passon and a couple other guys. But it's all right. But I think that the winter meetings, they were built up so much over social media that everybody got their hopes up, and then when Alonso signed with the Orioles, like it just felt like the Red Sox like collectively like popped a balloon in the face of all of us and just let all the air out of the room. And I think people are still kind of recovering from that. And we're recording on Wednesday night here on the 17th. We're a week out exactly from the end of the winter meetings when Craig Breslow said that they are, quote, going back to Boston and continuing to work. Obviously, there's been I don't call it an insignificant trade, but the Luis Perales trade with the Nationals. What's the guy's name that they got back?
Jake Bennett?
Yes. Bennett's the last name for sure. Perales coming off Tommy John. There was talk of him making the postseason roster at one point. Towards the end of last year, the kid touches 100, but he's not the build that Craig Breslow likes. Lou Merlone made a really good point on Section 10 podcast last week, where he said that we are very aware of the kind of pitcher that Craig Breslow likes. Big body, huge extension. He can dot the fastball. He's got a plus secondary, and it's some kind of breaking ball. But we have no idea what kind of hitter Craig Breslow likes. Because there was it came out earlier this week, I think, a little peek behind the curtain about the Bregman thing, that half of the front office wanted Bregman, half of the front office last season didn't, and that it kind of feels the same way again. Craig has not signed a big bopper yet. The Red Sox, in their most successful seasons of the past 25 years, have had, power bats in the middle of the lineup. Ortiz and Manny and JD, and it's been guys who can rake, and Breslow hasn't signed that. And so does he have some kind of aversion to that? Is it just he hasn't found the guy that he thinks checks the right boxes? And is that guy Murakami, who has to sign by 5 p.m. Eastern next Monday?
Monday, yeah.
Is it Okamoto who has to sign by January 4th, I think?
That sounds right.
January 4th, January 5th. Imai is in that same boat, and we're kind of going into the next topic, where the Japanese market has been very, very quiet. I think everybody kind of assumed that at least Murakami would sign at the winter meetings, and I didn't see anything connecting him to any team from the winter meetings. I don't know if you did, Maddie. You're a little more plugged into the NPB side of things than I am.
I have not. His market has been pretty quiet. I know Scott Boras is his agent, and I was reading
it's
through.
Very surprising that it's quiet.
Yeah. He makes his annual puns for his clients at the winter meetings.
Oh my
I don't
gosh.
think they just keep getting worse each year. But
yeah.
I don't think he made one for Murakami. He had one for Imai.
So.
Yeah, so
I didn't see that one.
I wouldn't actively search for it.
The one that I actually saw was the one about Alonso, where it was just nothing but a P alliteration.
Yeah,
and it was terrible. So bad.
Yeah, but I lost my train of thought thinking about his puns, but nothing. I wonder. I think this was connected to Carabas on Underdog. What is baseball? Is it Baseball Isn't Dead? Where
with him and Braden and Jay Hay. Yeah, Baseball is Dead. Yeah. That's a solid listen. It's a very good national podcast. It's not Red Sox based, but it is a very good national podcast. Dallas Braden is a wild person. So all smart.
Also, just a quick tangent. Maybe I just like Jared outside the Red Sox for his takes.
His Sox takes are really good now.
Okay.
I say that I've been a Section 10 guy since they started. In Pete's mom's basement. I actually wore a Section 10 shirt to school today. And I understand why people don't like Rocket. I think he's a good dude. The Barstool thing, a lot of people knocked him for that while he was with Barstool. Really sounds like he's never really liked Portnoy, which I can always kind of get behind and support people who don't like Dave Portnoy. But I think the thing with Carabas is, and we'll get back to what we were talking about, is that he is just so confident in who he is and his takes, and he's way more plugged in than people want to give him credit for, and I think that bothers a lot of people. And we'll talk about that when we get to Bregman here in a little bit, because Carabas is kind of the one who was stoking that fire over the last couple of days. In my opinion, the Section 10 guys, they're all really, really good. Tyler Milliken is a stats genius. He is. I would just love to sit and talk ball with him. Steve Peralt is great. Very, very entertaining. I'm a big Coley Mick guy. Coley's always been my favorite. I told my wife earlier, we were talking about it, and I was like, I always feel like Coley and I have very similar takes, which is probably why I like him so much. But Baseball is Dead, which is Carabas's national podcast, which is what you were referring to a minute ago. It's him, Dallas Braden, and Justin Havens, Jay Hay, who used to work for ESPN. And it is a very, very good ball talk podcast if that's what you're looking for. But yeah, they got into it about the Japanese market earlier this week, I think, on the Monday episode.
Yeah, and Karavis said something where Murakami could just play in the Nippon League again next year.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that's far-fetched.
Yeah, I mean, he was injured a bit. I mean, maybe the fish aren't biting like he expected because of that.
They made some really good points. They were talking about his strikeout percentage, how in the NPB that he doesn't see any kind of velocity that he's going to see. Something like the fastest pitch he saw last season that he got a hit on was like 93.5, and the average fastball in Major League Baseball is 94.5. So you'll get some that are slower than that, but usually guys who throw them slower than that don't throw them anymore. But he also made, and Braden, they all made the point that they kind of said the same thing about Shohei Ohtani when Ohtani came over. The season before he came over, he had a hit on a fastball, 93.5 mile an hour or faster. His strikeout rate was higher than Murakami's. I don't have the numbers in front of me, so I don't know exactly. It was not a Jeff Passan quote, but there was a scout who said that, and Passan had it in his article about Ohtani coming over, that Ohtani was a quote high school bat when he got over here, which is just insane. And so I'm not saying that Murakami is going to be Shohei Ohtani. That's crazy. But I think to completely write him off as, oh, he can't hit velocity, oh, he strikes out too much. I mean, maybe he can't hit velocity because he's not firing up the machines and the cages to 99 because he knows he's not going to see 99, Give him an off season, give him spring training, give him a season to get his feet under him, and let's see what happens. I think that if he figures it out, he's a 70 or 80 grade hit power. Like, that's nuts at a corner infield spot. Now, if he doesn't, it's a big contract.
Yeah, there is risk there.
Without a doubt, there's a lot of risk. But if he figures it out, man, that's a Triple Crown winner.
For sure. I bought I think it's called Delta Graph, some subscription back in the spring. I did a little bit of research on Murakami and Okamoto, and I don't have the numbers in front of me or the article, but I came to the conclusion that Murakami, I think the narrative around where he can hit high velocity fastballs was incorrect because, I mean, the stats showed he did fine against them at the very least. My concern with him would be just movement, and Major League Baseball pitches, defy gravity, and you don't see that in the Nippon League. So that I think that would be the biggest adjustment for him, like like Marcelo Meyer. That transition where Marcelo can hit fastballs pretty well, but the rest of a pitcher's arsenal he struggles against, and I mean that should change come as he develops further.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Murakami, the first time that he faces the Mets, unless he signs with the Mets, and sees Devin Williams, change-up, splinker, whatever it's called, screwball. I think it's how MLB The Show calls it. I think it's called a screwball on there. He's going to be lost on it. And he's not going to see anything but that from Devin Williams until he proves that he can hit it. I do feel more confident in Okamoto, and I hope that if the Red Sox are signing one of the Japanese bats, I do hope that it is Okamoto. But if it is Murakami, I don't hate that. Hell, let's sign them both and stick them at the corners and see what happens.
It could be a lot worse.
I mean, I bet Pete Alonso's defense isn't as good as Murakami's. I think that I would trust the 26-year-old more at first base.
Yeah.
Third base, it's got to be Okamoto, but
at first, I'll concede here. Yeah.
it's just so interesting. Even the Imai market is there's teams connected to him, which is more so than Murakami and Okamoto. Kind of last, I haven't seen the Red Sox connected to Imai in quite some time. I assume
if
that
at
his market
all.
is probably, I think like right when he got posted, it was like, oh, he would make a lot of sense in Boston. And some places were saying that like Okamoto and Imai and Alonso was what they were hoping to come out of the winter meetings, with. Um, I think his market has probably gone a little crazy for them as such an unproven and small bodied pitcher. But obviously, um, through recent results with the Dodgers, it's been proven that small body pitchers coming out of the NPB are probably going to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Man. Yeah,
Amai
Yamamoto's a
feels like a
beast.
Chicago Cub to me.
I can see that. I mean, depending on how much you want to take Imai's statement where he said he wouldn't go to a team with another Japanese player.
Yeah.
They have Imanaga on the Cubs still.
Seiya Suzuki is still there.
Oh, Seiya Suzuki. How could I forget about Seiya?
And we've talked about this before the 25 season. I wanted the Red Sox to trade for Seiya Suzuki so badly. I love Seiya Suzuki. I wanted the Red Sox to be in on him a lot more than they were when he was posted. That's interesting. I think because what was it like? Right around Thanksgiving, Amai came out and said that he doesn't want to go to the Dodgers. He wants to be on a team that beats the Dodgers, and then saying that he doesn't want to play with other Japanese players. Like I just think that not necessarily he doesn't want to play, but I think that's just kind of him like doubling down on his Dodger hate, which I can respect until the Dodgers throw him like $225 million. And he's like, I love California.
Yeah. I just don't know why the Giants really aren't in the market for frontline starting pitching. I think Imai would make a lot of sense for them. I mean, they need they have Logan Webb, who is very, very underrated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that.
He just consistently puts up good numbers every year, gets lost in the shuffle of elite
I think
pitchers.
that Birdsong kid's going to be good too.
Yeah. But no, well,
there was Noah?
Hayden?
Yeah,
yeah.
There's like 3 different first names that I say every time I talk about him. Logan, Noah, Hayden. They're all there. Sorry, it was a passing tweet, but it doesn't have anything to do with that. So.
The Deuce and Bears. What? Anyway.
Is that KBO?
Maybe. Okay. Okay, I have to look this up now. South Korean professional baseball team. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
I was about to say, I feel like I remember. I don't know how many other people did this, but during COVID, ESPN was running like KBO and NPB games early in the morning, live with like ESPN announcers over them. That's how I would watch those every morning just to get my baseball fix until the season started. And so I feel like I remembered the Bears, the Dunson Bears from the KBO world of that. But yeah, I think that there's a lot of, I don't know why the Japanese market is so quiet. It makes me wonder if all 3 guys are going to kind of sign at the same time. But somebody's going to have to pull the trigger on Murakami relatively quickly. We're less than 7 days out from his posting deadline. So maybe he does go back to the NPB and plays another season and repost in hopes of getting something. I feel like that has to be worst case scenario for him though, unless of course he went to like the White Sox. And then I think that I would rather play in the NPB.
Chicago's a great city.
I do love Chicago. Yeah. Chicago's great.
It's just your workplace in the South Side.
I like Will
What?
Venable. Will
Will
Venable.
Ven- yeah.
I think he's a good
Mhm.
manager. I think if you get him some talent, I think the White Sox would be pretty good. Murakami is potential talent.
And yeah, they've acquired a lot of good prospects through trades
Andrew
over the
Benintendi is
years.
there.
Andrew, their highest paid player ever.
Yeah, that's nuts. How crazy is that? Yeah, he can go play with Kyle Teal, who the
And
Red
yeah,
Sox are
Kyle.
still trying to trade back for.
I yeah, I just don't know what the front office is thinking. Just seeing that report, like I had to read it
Dude,
like at least 5 times to process
I thought
it
it was a
fully.
joke.
Yeah, like I check like is it like a fake John John Heyman account or something?
Yeah. It does make me wonder, and then their connection to JT Realmuto over the offseason, and this isn't on the sidebar, but this does make me wonder if they don't trust Narvaez as much as they want everybody to believe that they trust Narvaez.
Yeah, there's been a lot of rumors about just the Red Sox being involved or engaging in discussions about catching acquisitions.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense to me.
I understand you got to upgrade Connor Wong.
Mhm.
That's obvious. But if you're looking to trade for a Kyle Teal, Teal's not going to be a backup. Narvaez isn't built like a backup. Real Muto, you could make that case, but he's going to be an expensive backup.
And it just, after watching him play in Philly, I don't think he would be willing to be a backup catcher despite his age. He's what, like 35 now?
Yeah, he's super old.
Yeah. And he's just caught so many innings per year compared to any other catcher who's played as long as he has.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, the Phillies just ran him into the ground.
After the Marlins ran him into the ground. It's been 2 organizations that were just like, you know what, man, get out
there. Like, we're done with you. Well,
or no, go ahead.
I really don't. Yeah, I'm not that familiar with the White Sox farm system, but I thought they had a couple of good catching prospects, and when after thinking about the Red Sox still being interested in Kyle Teal, I had also I remember reading reports that the Red Sox weren't high on his defense behind the plate. So I was thinking, would they be considering converting him to a first baseman if they would try to bring him back?
How big is Kyle Teal? Like,
he's pretty. I want to say like 6'2", like not tiny.
Short for a first baseman.
No, he's only 6 foot.
I mean, Romy's played first, so Romy is our short king.
He's what 5'10".
Yeah. Hey, don't hate on 5'10".
No, I'm defending Romy. He's not that short.
He is. Thank you. I appreciate that as a fellow 5'10".
In the baseball world, he's not Jose Altuve.
No. I don't know if anybody will ever be a short Muggsy Bogues. If there's a Muggsy Bogues that comes into the baseball world, that will replace Jose Altuve. Yeah, it's so interesting to see who the Red Sox have kind of been connected to. Obviously, there's still a lot of chatter around Ketel Marte with the Diamondbacks, which kind of bridges us into our final topic. That the Diamondbacks emerged yesterday, Tuesday, as a quote mystery team, a dark horse team, as John Heyman likes to put it, for Alex Bregman. Alex Bregman is from New Mexico. He lives in like the Phoenix area. His dad is a politician in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of connections. And we talked about this earlier. Jared Carrabis is close to Alex Bregman. They've been friends for years. In fact, Carrabis was the first person that Bregman called last season during a recording of Section 10 when he signed with the Red Sox. Before he called his family, before he called anybody else, he called Jared Carrabis. And so Carrabis has always kind of said that he's not worried about Bregman throughout this offseason, and that the only time he would get worried is if what he was hearing had some real traction, which kind of sounds like if it comes from Alex. He was kind of the first person in on there's a mystery team on Bregman yesterday on Tuesday. He was if you follow Carrabis, his tweets, you have to look in his replies to get like the details because he'll start replying to people with more stuff than what he's tweeting out. He said mystery team coming in hot, but the mystery team in a sense that I'm aware that they are a team, but it's not one I've seen him linked to anywhere. And then it came out later through Bob Nightingale, so as much of a grain of salt as humanly possible, that the Arizona Diamondbacks have become the surprise entrant for out in the Alex Bregman sweepstakes and are kicking the tires on him. It looks like to acquire Bregman, they have to move Marte first. That kind of seems to be what their goal is. I'll say this. To me, this sounds like Scott Boras trying to further put the Red Sox in a tight place. He knows that there's probably no real chance that Alex Bregman is going to the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks currently owe Corbin Burns, who is out all of next season, over $30 million a season. Bregman is looking for over $30 million a season for the next 6 to 7 seasons. I just don't see the Diamondbacks paying both of them like that. So I think that this is Scott Boras doing Scott Boras things. Or he knows that Bregman is likely to come back to Boston if Boston trades for Ketel Marte, so he's trying to force the trade of Marte to Boston so his client stays in Boston. It could be a number of different things. I just don't know if I buy the Diamondbacks Bregman connection. Bregman is chasing another World Series ring, a clean ring. And he's looking to get paid. And I don't think that the Diamondbacks offer him a path to a World Series ring.
Well, between the Red Sox and Diamondbacks, which team was in the World Series the most recently?
You're not wrong.
Yeah. I think I like the Diamondbacks since they beat up the Phillies in the NLCS in 2023. Yeah, that was really cool. And I've been rooting for, not actively, just casually rooting for them. I love Corbin Carroll is one of my favorite players just in the entire sport of baseball.
Yes.
Just watching him run like a maniac is insane. And
if you think Jarren Duran runs crazy, watch Corbin Carroll.
Well, yeah, exactly. And Corbin Carroll has really good running form too. Just Duran runs like the angry lizard as he calls it, and Carroll's just so smooth. And he's the flow with the headband. But anyway,
Masataka Yoshida-esque.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. He's half Asian too, Carroll. So anyway, I mean but the Diamondbacks, they were not connected to Corbin Burns at all last off season. And then turns out he apparently has a home in Scottsdale and he just decided to sign with the Diamondbacks. And you mentioned Bregman's connection to the what do you call it? The desert area, Southwest desert area. So I mean, maybe there's something there,
sure.
But
I just
a bigger picture, it's negotiation.
I think that's all this is. Would Bregman enjoy playing for the Diamondbacks if he doesn't go back to the Red Sox? Yes, I think so. I assume that the deal from Detroit is probably still on the table from last season. And I've said this whole time that if Alex Bregman wanted to be a Detroit Tiger, he would have been a Detroit Tiger last season. Because they offered him more money than the Red Sox offered him, and they offered him a longer contract. Now I don't. Every day I'm getting further and further from the re-sign Bregman camp. which is crazy because we talked an episode or two ago, like that the Red Sox almost have to sign Alex Bregman at this point because they brought him in, lied to Rafael Devers, made Rafael Devers so mad that they said that he was a clubhouse cancer and traded him for Jordan Hicks. And so if you don't sign Alex Bregman, I think that this fan base will revolt. But I think that I would rather spend that money on Okamoto and trade for a Wilson Contreras to play first. Bo Bichette is projected to get a cheaper deal than Alex Bregman is now. Less years and less money. And he is willing to play second base, which is where he should be playing. Man, if he's willing to play second, I like that a lot. If it's 5 or 6, 150, I like that a lot.
The thing is, the team is really looking for a power bat, and they need that to, go deeper in the postseason. And Bichette is 4 years removed from his 29 home run season, which is the most home runs he's ever hit. I mean, would his swing play well at Fenway? Yes.
He's an all fields hitter. And I mean, the Rogers Center is just huge.
Yeah.
And so you take, and I haven't looked at that spray chart, but I assume that if you take his home spray chart and lay it over Fenway, you will see that he's got quite a few more homers.
Yeah, so maybe he could unlock that with the Red Sox. I'm expecting home runs. I'm looking at his fielding now, but I would likely that would go up. Just in second base too. He should be an average defender. But
and I think that if you're getting 20 to 30 home run power out of him, an average defender is fine.
Especially at second base too, which really isn't high power position. But
that would also allow you to keep your Peyton Toley's, Connolly Early's, and try to. I said we weren't going to talk about him. The Royals still want Jarren Duran. To get Cole Reagans, you're going to have to attach a pitcher to him. Early. And if you trade one of them to the Diamondbacks, you're not trading the other one for Ketel Marte. You're not trading the other one to the Royals for Cole Reagans, who is your number 2 pitcher. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Jarren Duran, Peyton Toley, welcome to Kansas City. Let's do it. That's all I'm going to say.
I would drive Peyton Toley to Kansas City
personally. Just take him to the airport. I'll pick him up. And I know where the good barbecue in Kansas City is.
Arthur Bryant's.
To burn-ins. The light district is super cool. Jarren Duran would live there. I know it's great. If they want to pay less taxes, they can live in Overland Park just across the state line where the Kansas City Chiefs are and the Kansas City Royals are about to build their new stadiums because the city of Kansas City hates their sports teams. That's a different situation. But
whoa.
They don't want to fund the stadiums, the new stadiums. And so
taxpayers
they're going to Kansas. Taxpayers.
Yes.
And so they're going to Kansas to build on that side of Kansas City.
Well, actually,
which sucks half the economy out of the city. But I don't live there. It's fine.
That's complicated.
It is, and
projects and all that whole web.
I don't disagree with the taxpayers shouldn't pay for stadiums. I don't disagree with that, but it's turned vitriolic over the last couple of years. And Patrick Mahomes just tore his ACL. Travis Kelce is saying things like, I hope the Chiefs can get him right instead of we. It just really seems like the goodwill with a lot of the Kansas City Stars is gone. And I worry about the Royals don't have the best fan base anyway, the most dedicated fan base anyway. I have friends that are Royals fans. They're great. Every Royals fan I've ever met is great. But if you look at Kauffman Stadium, it's not full, even against premier teams like the Red Sox, like the Yankees. the Dodgers come into town and you can still get tickets.
Mhm.
For all of its faults over the last couple of years, the last few years, with the Cardinals, when the big names come to town, Busch Stadium is packed. Now, I went to the Padres series last year, and it was far from packed, but it was middle of the week when the heat index was like 120. So, kind of get it. But when the Yankees come to town, when the Dodgers come to town, the Red Sox are going to be there at the beginning of August. They haven't put general tickets on sale. They've just done all-inclusives for the Red Sox series so far. But they're going to be there at the beginning of April, not the beginning of August. And the all-inclusives are already selling very, very quickly. So, at least they come out for the big names and the big teams. You can't say the same thing about Kansas City. But if they had Jarren Duran and Peyton Tolle, butts in seats.
That's just crazy that Royals fans really don't come out for the team when they have Bobby Witt Jr. Playing every day at shortstop, and he's just a complete player. So good.
Stadium is gorgeous. The Kauffman Stadium is one of the last great stadiums, and it's going to be gone soon. And it just and I say like the Royals are playing in front of like White Sox-esque crowds. They're not. They're bigger crowds than that. But I do worry, especially if this does go through and the team moves across the state line into Kansas. I don't think it's going to be good. But like I said, Jarren Duran, he's a good-looking guy. He can put butts in seats, and
Oh, no.
that's why people go to see him on the road.
Oh God, for sure. Well, anyway, just I don't sit in left field. I try to sit behind the visiting team's dugout when I see the Red Sox, but
left field at Busch Stadium. But I've done that Alex, well before Jarren Duran played for the Boston
Red Sox. Okay. I had this note about Bichette. Speaking of him, I mean, does his rabid, stand come with them when he signs with a new team? Like, I mean, potentially if they keep Duran, then you'd have two very, very, very involved fans for players on your roster. I mean, is that too much for a team on the internet? Well, in general too.
Oh my gosh, the Duran crazies kind of drove me off Twitter during the season. I would like to think that maybe the Bichette ones are a little more calm and not quite as obsessed.
I can see it with Duran, but I mean, not really with Bichette. I don't know. Just
Do you think that if Bichette's name came up in trade rumors, that there would be a group of people standing outside Fenway chanting, "Don't trade Bichette" at Craig for an hour?
Oh God. Well, that depends on his Aura Plus rating and expected autographs. But yeah,
how much Riz does he have?
The Duran crazies, man. I re-downloaded TikTok to watch a video, and again, just for fun, clicked on my homepage, and yeah, I mean that app reads all the data on your phone, because the first video I saw was an edit of Duran with the incident, no filter, and then just it played that at the beginning and a highlight of him hitting home runs. I mean, obviously not from this past season, but it had like just over 300,000 likes, and I was thinking, what the heck? Like, oh my God, like it went viral, and like, if there's a market out there for that on the internet, that's a layer of it that I don't want to get down, and I promptly deleted TikTok from my phone after that. So just, I mean, people are digesting edits of him.
Yeah, frequently from the way it sounds. Trade him to the Royals. That's where I'm at. And this all started because I would rather have Cole Reagans than Ketel Marte. And the Diamondbacks will have to trade Ketel Marte to sign Alex Bregman. So sign Okamoto, trade for Cole Reagans, sign Bo Bichette, and then I don't know, Bregman can go play for the Phillies and Alex Bohm will get DFA'd.
Okay. If they made any other move for a power bat, I wouldn't be opposed to Alec Bohm, but he's not a solution.
I would much rather have Alex Bregman than Alec Bohm.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm getting further away from the Boston Red Sox have to sign Alex Bregman camp every day. And now with the news that Bichette is willing to play second, I like it. I think it makes a lot of sense. If he's at short, I want no part of Bo Bichette. At second, I like it a lot. There's been just kind of some notes. There was some chatter around Brendan Donovan from the Cardinals. It looks like Wilson Contreras is the Cardinal target that they like the most. Last I saw, talks were still very exploratory, though. There weren't. I don't even think like names had really been thrown around. If you could somehow land Wilson Contreras without trading Tolley or early, which I don't think Wilson Contreras is worth, sure. He solves a lot of problems at first base. He's a 20-plus home run hitter. I wrote an article on him last week, why he made sense. I guess since I'm not far from the Lou, I'm kind of Talk Sox resident Cardinal whisperer. Because I had something about Steven Matz before he got traded, and I was on the Donovan thing a little earlier than that came out, and the Contreras thing. But I think that Contreras is a decent pivot. It's a 2-year deal. He's making like $17.5 million a season for the next couple of seasons. He's a plus defender at first base. I think if I remember the spray chart adds, like last season added like 9 or 10 home runs, which puts him in the 29-30 category. I don't hate it. I don't hate Brendan Donovan. If we needed an outfielder, I would be all about Lars Nootbaar, just to hear his name more than anything else. I'd say I like Lars Nootbaar a lot. But the Cardinals have some interesting pieces. Obviously, there's familiarity with Chaim Bloom. There's now been 2 deals made with the Cardinals that technically Chaim Bloom did not make the Steven Matz deal, but he had to be kind of the one calling the shots on that. And then obviously the Sonny Gray trade. If Contreras is the pivot, I would like to see that happen later this offseason. Like I said, I would rather sign Okamoto, trade for Reagans, or Mackenzie Gore. I would trade for Mackenzie Gore too. It sounds like Taboni is willing to move him.
The Nationals, have you seen the proposal, the 3-team trade proposals with the Nationals, Red Sox, and Royals, with Gore going to the Royals, I think, and then Reagan's going to the Red Sox, and then my train of thought completely derailed. The Nationals were talking about trading Abrams and Gore with the Royals, and then the Red Sox were somehow involved. And I was thinking,
I had not seen that. No.
Okay.
That's wild. If there's any kind of kernel of truth to that,
because Abrams he's not very good defensively at shortstop, but the Royals have Bobby Witt Jr.
That to me, that's kind of one of the biggest kind of hurdles that the Red Sox have to clear for a Reagan's deal is like Franklin Arias makes sense to include in a trade like that, but he's a shortstop, and the Royals have Bobby Witt Jr. and Arias is, he's high A, double A. He's not going to sniff the major leagues this season, but Bobby Witt Jr. is locked up for quite some time. Mm-hmm. Unless you think that Arias can move to third or second or do the Tatis route and head to the outfield. I don't know, but that's why I think it's got to be Duran plus Tolley / Early. And I say Tolley just because I think Early has a higher floor. I think Tolley probably has a higher ceiling than Connolly Early. Early's just older and a little more developed. So if we're legitimately in win now mode, then trading Tolley makes a little more sense at the moment. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I need something to happen, and I hate being one of those people that's like, I just need something to happen. That's not Johan Oviedo or a minor league trade for pitching. That's great. And, this Barnett kid may end up contributing on the major league roster at some point this year. He is kind of Craig Breslow's type, but there's lots of holes on offense right now. And as it currently stands, the team is worse than they are before. And if they re-sign Alex Bregman, the team is in the same boat they were in last year, minus Rob Refsnyder, who Rob Bradford said today it looks increasingly likely that Refsnyder is not coming back to Boston, which is fine. Nate Eaton fills that role. That's okay. But, man, it's just something's got to happen. Because if it's great if you've got Garrett Crochet and Sonny Gray and Brian Bayo and Peyton Tolley, Connolly Early, however the back end of that rotation stacks up, but the bullpen is lacking people outside of Whitlock and Chapman right now. If you've got 15 starters, you can put a couple of them out there. Cutter Crawford has a case to be in the bullpen next year. Now the Woo Sox are going to have probably the best starting rotation in AAA next year with all the names that are going to be there. That's going to be nuts. Even Kyle Harrison, how does he figure into all this? Is he trade bait? Is he?
I
know.
Really good trade proposal. Send Kyle Harrison and Jordan Hicks to the Giants for this guy named Rafael Devers.
Yeah, you know what? Jaron Duran can go too. Let's sweeten that pot and bring old Rafi back. I'd be ecstatic considering that my Rafael Devers yellow City Connect jersey showed up mere days after that trade was completed.
Man.
Yeah. I bought it. There's no way that they could actually trade Rafael Devers, and then sitting there on Father's Day, they did. It was a great gift to me. But yeah, do you have anything coming out soon? I know with the holidays, we've all kind of slowed down a little bit again, but
I really don't. Do you?
I had a piece go up today about how the team could get Christian Campbell in the mix at the major league level in the outfield. And then I think I've got a piece going up tomorrow about why the Red Sox should not sign free agent Michael King. Even though there is a lot of mutual interest there, he is just kind of not. I mean, if it's a 1-year prove-it deal for like 15, 20 million, sure. A long-term contract, 3+ years, hard pass. So be on the lookout for it. That's the first why they shouldn't sign somebody or trade for somebody that I've written this offseason. Everything else has been trade for all these Cardinal players. I don't even
Brendan
like
Donovan. Brendan Donovan. You had that good piece on him last week, and he makes sense. I mean, I'd like them to see them make maybe a little sexier move before they get to that point, but I don't think he wouldn't be the worst thing to, or worst player to add to the roster.
I don't disagree. A package deal for him and Contreras, I think, is doable, and that solves your first and second base problems in one deal. But that's going to be an expensive deal. Expensive-ish. Cardinals are selling. People know that. You're looking at trading from an already decently depleted minor league system. I do think it's telling. This is kind of the last thing I'll say. I do think it's telling in the Sonny Gray deal that that Chaim Bloom was willing to give the Red Sox $20 million cash instead of taking on Masataka Yoshida's $18 million contract. And I think that tells us everything that we need to know about Masataka Yoshida's market.
Man,
unfortunately.
Yeah, it's sad, but Yeah, I mean, are they going to pull a Nick Castellanos and just release him? I mean, well, that hasn't happened to Nick yet, but
I think it's coming. Unless Masataka starts hitting just absolute tanks in the middle of very somber moments.
oh god,
Like Nick's got a knack for it. So if Masataka can learn that as well, then keep him because I would like to be entertained. But yeah, I've got those couple pieces coming out. I guess we'll be back in 2 weeks, no matter what. Right as the year turns over. If something happens between now and then, as long as it's not on Christmas proper, I assume that we will be back with a live stream, a quick little emergency pod. Thank you all for listening. Have very happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate. Enjoy it. Enjoy your time with friends and family, however you spend your holidays, and we will catch you guys here in a couple weeks. Thanks for listening
Take
to Talk
care.
Talks.